I didn't think they were like a speaker brand though. Did I get to see Ant-Man 4K yet? No, Lewis. What's up, Lewis? I did not get to see Ant-Man in 4K yet. That's not one of my favorite Marvel movies, so probably not gonna watch it in 4K. Rob James, what's up, man? Hey, Shane, was wondering what power conditioner you have in your rack. Rob, what do I have in my rack? I think I have a Panamax 5300 right now, but I'm probably going to be getting the Furman 15i reference. I'm working on that right now, so hopefully I have that in another like week or so. What's up, Benjamin? UST laser projectors, the future. Ultra short throw projectors, the future. Well, right now I have got the Vava 4K projector in, and I'm not really too thrilled with the Vava. It's really loud right now, especially if you're playing HDR through it. The fan noise is kind of atrocious. But for like everyday, just regular like non 4K HDR material, it seems to be okay. But if I got a Blu-ray plugged into it or the Apple TV plugged into it doing Apple TV 4K HDR, then that fan just kicks in high gear and it's a bit distracting. I haven't had the chance to check out the LG in my house yet. I don't know if I'm ever going to, but from what I could tell when I saw it live at the showroom floor, it seemed pretty quiet there. But the Vava one that I have, it actually sticks out from the wall, probably about like 16 inches or so, I think. So it still sticks out kind of far, so you still kind of need a deep kind of like TV stand to go in front of it. I mean, if I can get a little bit closer, then I think that makes more sense to be like a TV replacement, because the ultra short throw projectors are really, really bright. I'm gonna say they're like as bright as like a TV set, since it's so close to the wall. Instead of getting like 1900 lumens on a regular projector, you're getting like 3000 or more. That's really close. So especially with a good like bright screen, that thing just kicks out some really good brightness. But I could see ultra short throw projectors being a kind of a thing, especially when they become more affordable. Joker in 4K when it comes out is gonna look amazing. Who saw? I just got back from watching Joker. Who saw Joker? Anybody see Joker yet? Anyways, I just got to see Joker. I don't want to do any spoilers. I was going to do a spoiler review with Brass Tacks, but I guess he didn't want to get on and do any kind of a discussion tonight. But anyways, I saw Joker. I just got back maybe about an hour or so, and I think it's I don't think it should be called Joker. It should be called Arthur. It's more like Arthur's descent into the Joker. But yeah, man, it's a really awesome kind of like character study. I don't know what else I can really say about it without giving too much away, but basically it's like Arthur. He's kind of like a down and out dude. He's got mental problems. You could probably tell from the trailers. He lives with his mom in Gotham. His mom's got some issues too, some mental problems. His mom's really ill, but it's just kind of like Arthur's kind of like a down and out guy. Like the world is kind of just beating on him. He gets beat up by those kids in the trailer. And he just kind of like loses it. Like the world just kind of like builds up on him, and eventually he just kind of like snaps. And then he just kind of just loses his mind all of a sudden. And then he's got, I guess there's some things that I don't want to give too much away, but it's a good movie. I really liked it though. I did like it. I liked especially like the ending, which I thought was a very good parallel with the Joker and something else. But man, maybe we'll do a spoiler review with Brass, and we could talk about it more. But I did see it in a Dolby Atmos theater, And I think when it comes to 4K to the house, I don't think anybody's gonna be blown away by the audio on it. It's, it's a drama basically. There's some things like some of the score is really good sounding. It's kind of a thunderous score here and there, especially with his like descent into Jokerism. The Joker's kind of got his little theme that plays whenever something ominous is going to happen. Other than that, maybe there's some parts with like rain, some city sounds when they're outside. Other than that, I didn't really notice too much that's going to give your audio system a workout. That's just my take on it. And the theater that I went to was pretty good for audio too. So, but like I said, it's more of a drama than anything. If you're going into Joker and you think it's going to be an action, like a comic book action movie, and Joker's just going to go buck wild and just kill a lot of people, not going to happen. But we'll see. Maybe we'll come back. Maybe me and Brass will come back and do a review, like a spoiler type of review later. What else we got here? Who's this guy? Nair Band 747. The Atmos sound on Terminator Genesis Blu-ray is mind-blowing. Yeah, I think I did Terminator Genesis. I think I did the review on that. Did I not? I don't know. But yeah, Terminator Genesis is just like straight Atmos action all the way through. That's maybe like a 9. I would give like a 9.5 for Terminator Genesis. Spider-Man Far From Home has Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Yes, it does. I don't think I'm going to do the 4K review. I didn't think it was like a drastic departure from the digital stream. I figured maybe Far From Home would be more in the lines of like a straight Sony release, where it would just look phenomenal, but it's still kind of like, still Disney-esque, so it's not like the sharpest thing. It's not the most demo-worthy, just like other Sony movies have been. And the Atmos was really good, but I don't think it was demo-worthy though. That's why I didn't do it. That's why I opted to do Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange. But yeah, what happened? So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, I did do that. And I wasn't expecting too much with Guardians of the Galaxy. And I knew the 3D was going to be a lot better. But I know some of you guys were interested in the Guardians movie. And I thought HDR would be at least kind of like on par with Part 2. But it was just like, all right. It wasn't great. It wasn't mind-blowing or anything like that. It was kind of an average. I thought it was slightly better than the Blu-ray. The same for Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was a bit better than Guardians. A little bit clearer, a little bit crisper. Unfortunately, actually, no, HDR was actually better for Doctor Strange too. Especially when he was like in the astral plane and when he was in Hong Kong. Definitely better color, better clarity for Doctor Strange. But again, I think Doctor Strange was maybe like the second movie that we reviewed on the channel, me and Bill. And we did the 3D version. So we were like just blown away by how awesome Doctor Strange in 3D was. It would have been cool to have Bill here to do the 4K review with me, but he's since moved away. He's like an hour away from us now, so I had to do it by myself. But yeah, man, the 3D on Doctor Strange, phenomenal. One of my favorite 3D movies out there, especially for Marvel. I think every Marvel 3D movie is just better looking than their 4K counterpart. At least from what I can remember, every 3D Marvel movie has just been kind of better. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think so. Especially Thor Ragnarok. Awesome 3D in Thor Ragnarok. But I had asked the question, I dropped the question earlier, because I was going to do the review later, because I picked up the Blu-ray, or the 4K. What was the first movie in Dolby Atmos? What year, what movie was it? And it seems a lot of you had picked Transformers Age of Extinction. I don't want to give away the answer, because I'll drop the review, and you guys will know the answer then, but I think you guys already know what it is. I'm kind of surprised what everybody had thought was the correct answer. But that's probably going to be my next review. I know it's been out for a little bit now, maybe like a week or two, but I'm probably going to do that movie. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm curious to see how good the Atmos is on the first Atmos movie on 4K. I know a bunch of you guys probably have seen it. Who's here? Dave S. Hey Shane, just wanted to say a quick hi and keep up the good work. Oh, thanks, Dave. Isaiah Sanchez Games. Would you rather go to Dolby Cinema or IMAX Theater? Would I rather go to Dolby or IMAX? To be honest with you, I don't think I've been to a Dolby Cinema. I just been to Dolby Atmos cinemas, Dolby theaters with Atmos, but not an actual Dolby Cinema. So I guess the answer would be Dolby Cinema. Jose Capitillo. When and how did you get into home theater? I think I answered this question in another live stream a while ago. But just like everybody else, I started when I was a kid, and I just kind of got hooked from there. Hi-Fi VCRs, the Sony stereo Hi-Fi VCRs, Pioneer receiver. I think I had some big Sony towers at one point in time, some big like 12-inch towers that kind of sounded like crap in hindsight when I think about it, but that's kind of what later. Then it just spiraled from there. Now I'm on YouTube. Jacob Rodriguez, any idea if it's possible to get Dolby Atmos on Apple TV 4K through headphones? I don't know if you can. Maybe the Dolby headphones, but I don't know if the Dolby headphones do Dolby Atmos or not. I would assume they would. Have I watched Pan's Labyrinth in 4K? I did not watch Pan's Labyrinth in 4K. I heard nothing but kind of bad things about it. And plus, it wasn't in Atmos, so I wasn't really too interested. I think Pan's Labyrinth on Blu-ray was in 6.1, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was DTS ES Pan's Labyrinth, one of the first ones. But I think the home release is 5.1 or 7.1. So I opted not to do the 4K. Isaiah Sanchez Games. Shane, I like your channel. Thank you, Isaiah. 3D is dying, I guess, unless the technology improves. Gives me a headache. This is from Near Bond 747. Yeah, and I got a lot of friends who don't like 3D because they get a headache, or they just hate wearing the glasses, or they think the movie gets too dark. So I totally get it. Some people just don't like 3D, or I even have some friends that can't even see 3D because for whatever reason they just can't see it. So yeah, DJ Apache, how are the Rel HT Predator sounding so far? I love these Rels. The Rels I have, they're sitting right next to the SB3000s. And I thought the SB3000s just rocked. These things were just kind of like rocking my world for a little bit. Especially for little small subwoofers, like the small size they are. And the 13-inch, what are they, 13 and a half woofers in the 3000s. These things were rocking. And I thought they had some really good slam. But then, I put the Rels in here. I was like, I didn't think they were going to kick as hard as they did, especially for 15s. I kind of figured the 13 and a halves would just slam harder. But these Rels are like totally different sound than I've heard in a while. I've heard the Rels in 2-channel audio systems, so I know they're very musical sounding. But these guys for home theater is just kind of a different level. I know some folks were kind of off put by the price. I think they were originally $1,800, but it's kind of funny because I did the unboxing for the Rels, and then they had liked the tweet or whatever. They retweeted it, and then all of a sudden, the same day, they dropped the price from $1,800 to I think $1,500 now. So they're $300 cheaper. I think they're trying to be more competitive with some of the offerings from maybe SBS, some of the other guys, maybe Monoprice. I don't know what Monoprice is charging for their subs, but But yeah, they're 15-inch woofers. They're sealed. I think they go down to like 21 hertz response from what they're giving 21 hertz. I'm almost positive they go lower in-room response. I'm pretty sure it's going to be lower. I haven't measured it yet. The only thing I wasn't really too enamored about was the fact that they have a vinyl wrap on them rather than being like painted. I really would have liked maybe like a painted finish rather than being vinyl wrapped. But you know, they look nice though. They've kind of have a like a brushed aluminum finish. The top plate is really nice. It's like a glossy finish. It says Rel on top. I'm not a fan of the actual logo on top because I think especially in the front of the room when you're watching a movie, you know, my eye kind of catches it and it says Rel. That kind of bothers me. I wish they would have just made maybe the lettering a little darker. But you know, I don't want to get too much into it. I got to save something for the review. But yeah, these things are some of the better sounding subwoofers that I've heard. Maybe not the best subwoofer, but definitely a very good mixture of like musicality and thunderous home theater bass. Very different feel from the stuff that you're probably used to hearing from maybe like SVS or Klipsch. It's got a definite refined sound to it. But I'll get into more of that in the review. I actually think the SVS designer, he's gonna call me tomorrow, give me some tips on how to set things up the way they like to be set up, and give me some some ideas of why there was no DSP integrated into it and why they chose what they chose. So I'll get some more details on that tomorrow afternoon, and I'll try to integrate that in the video. John Harvey. Snap AV is a company that sells speakers, amps, and cables to private home theater companies to answer you early. Yeah, I thought Snap AV. It's a company. I didn't think it was like a brand, but I've heard of them there. Though I think I've seen their stuff on on like AVS or something like that. Have you seen Gremlins on 4K yet? Making you think. No, I haven't seen Gremlins on 4K yet. I'll probably watch it at some point in time, but I haven't watched it because I don't think it was in Atmos, so I decided not to do it. You know, I'm going to have my movies in Atmos, but I'm sure I'll get it because I'm a Gremlins fan, and you got to watch Gremlins every December, right? So if I do the review, I'll probably save it for December because, you know, it's a Christmas movie, so I think it would be befitting to do Gremlins during Christmas. Manoj Tomar suggest me the best Dolby Atmos 4K player in what? Best 4K player in 3 to 4K. In $3,000 to $4,000? Well, the best player I think right now is definitely still for picture quality. Best 4K player that I own that I've tried out is the Panasonic UB9000. It is $1,000. And I think it gives the best picture quality. That's what I use when I do the disc reviews. But if I'm watching my ripped movies, then I will use the Oppo 203. The Oppo is still kind of the best universal player because you can play rips, you can play MKVs and all that stuff in Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. The Panasonic can't do that, but the Panasonic does give you HDR optimizer. But it is $1,000. Especially if you got a projector or kind of a lower end, maybe not so bright television, then the Panasonic is going to give you the best picture. Shout out to Chris Sproles for the $1. Thank you, Chris. Chris has been a long time fan of the channel. Appreciate it that you're willing to shell out $1, Chris. Very appreciate it. Thanks for your pleasant comments too. Now, if you only had a question, that'd be nice too. So, if you got a question, Chris, hit me up right now with your question. Bryce Minor, Atmos snob. Hey man, what can I say? If the movie's not in Atmos, chances are I'm not going to review it. What's the most you've ever heard someone spend on their home theater setup? John Harvey. What's the most I've ever heard? Millions. Jonathan Diaz says, "What's your opinion on Bowers and Wilkins speakers for home theater use?" Jonathan Diaz. Before I got the Arendal speakers, which I think everybody should go to the Arendal Sound website and check out their speakers, pick them up. They're the favorite speakers that I've heard so far for home theater. They're better than my M&Ks, and M&Ks were my go-to brand for like years, for like like a decade. Nothing had sounded better than them. And then I got the Arendals, and I thought they were fantastic sounding. I like them even better than the Bowers for home theater usage. Maybe not so much for music, but for home theater usage. But I almost got the Bowers and Wilkins CT series, which is their custom theater series. If you're gonna, consider doing the Bowers, check out their CT series. They're really good. They're very expensive. Very expensive though, but they're awesome sounding speakers. Michael Randa. The PSN 830, same as UB half price but plastic housing. I'm not sure what the PSN 830 means. Ender Robinson, I just had 4 Atmos in ceiling installed in my theater, but I think that put the fronts too close to the back. How far apart are your fronts and rear Atmos channels? How far are my rear Atmos channels? They're pretty close. My theater is not very big. I think in my videos, my room looks bigger than it is, but they're pretty close. They're like only a couple feet away from my fronts. But the thing is, you just hear stuff above your head. It doesn't matter where it is. Some people put their front speakers right above their front channels, so they kind of just angle them outwards. But mine are like literally right above me and maybe just a couple of feet away from my fronts. Will you be reviewing the new Macintosh MC257? I'm not even sure what the Macintosh 257 is. Is that the integrated? Let me see. Let me see what the Macintosh 257 is. But I've been trying to get their, I forgot what it was, the Macintosh 250 or something like that. I was going to get that. It was like that hybrid, kind of like tube amp / solid state. Had the tubes on them, but it was the integrated one. I think it was like $6,000 or something like that. I was probably going to get that over to Cambridge. I might still get it because I'm going to be sending the Cambridge back tomorrow, so I'm going to be without a 2-channel setup. But the Macintosh 275, the thing is that Macintosh doesn't like give people loaners unless you like have a store or something like that. So if I was going to do a Macintosh review, I would have to buy the Macintosh. And Macintosh is not exactly affordable gear. Joker review, XYZW. Well, XY, I spoke about Joker a little bit earlier. You could always rewind back, but I liked the movie. I thought Joker was a really good movie. Suggest me, please, $1,000 to $1,500 best 3D projector. Manoj Tomar wants a 3D projector. You should check out the Epson 3200, which is $1,500. Does 3D and 4K upscaling. You can check out my video review on the 32 and 3800. There's links in that video too. So, Manoj, you can check that out. I put some links, some pre-order links. Also, if you pre-order the Epson 3200 from Best Buy, it is $14.99, and they're giving away $200. So you get a $200 gift card. So you can use that, get yourself another Blu-ray player, get yourself some 4K movies. Plus, you get the projector. So check out the Epson 3200. Lexicon THX1. I still have my M&Ks for rears. Nice stuff. Yeah, Lexicon. You know what I want to get? I also want to check out the Lexicon. That Lexicon Pre-Pro they had. But actually, I think that's old now. I think they just released their new Arkhams and What's the other one they came out with? Arkham and the Synthesis. So, you know, I've been trying to hit up Lexicon forever. They don't want to give me anything, man. Wolfgang 10247, have you tried XTZ's Cinema line of speakers? Wolfgang, you know, I had reached out to XTZ maybe like 6 months ago. We were talking back and forth, but I think they're located somewhere. I don't know where they're, like in Europe or something like that. I don't think they wanted to ship anything to me, so those talks kind of fell through. Making you think, it's disappointing that the Daniel Craig James Bonds on 4K will not be having Dolby Atmos. Really? Did not know that. I'll have to look into that. I know you can get the box set for like $90 or something like that on Best Buy. But yeah, look into that. I know the Bond collection has been on iTunes for a while now. I really wanted to do them, but I've been holding out to do the 4K discs. Because they've been out for a few months now, as far as I know. I think Skyfall's been on Amazon Prime for like a year now. What's the best looking animation movie in 4K by Dreamworks? By Dreamworks? I got one of them here. But this is Pixar. It's not Dreamworks though. I don't know the question to that. I don't watch too many anime. I don't watch a lot of animation, to be honest with you. I know a lot of you guys have always asked me how come I don't do any whatever animated things coming up, but I'm not an animated guy. It's kind of like animation just looks good usually on Blu-ray or 4K. It just looks good. Either one you go with. You know what I'm saying? Does the Anthem MRX 1120 still have a place in the market for how old it is? Have my eye on it or wait for the next model? Love Arc Genesis. The 1120, yeah. See, the thing is, the Anthem pre-pros and receivers, at this stage, I would probably wait to see what they're going to release. I know they're bound to come out with something because everybody has just dropped new models. I've been told they're coming out with a new, like, pre-pro. I don't know when, but I know I've been told that they're working on it, so I'd probably hold off on whatever the next iteration is, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty soon. Fred215, where you get light up Joker poster frame when I see from your videos. Fred, that light up Joker poster frame is actually a frame that I got. I bought the actual frame. It's a snap frame. It's a 27 by 40 movie theater poster frame that snaps. And the back of it is clear. And then I took some poplar. I don't know. I think that's what it's called. Some poplar wood. I think it's like 2 by 1. And I just built the frame. I built a wooden box, and I took the snap poster frame, put it on top of the frame, on top of the wooden frame that I made. And then inside the frame, I took those LED rope lights, and I just zigzagged them all inside the box. And then you plug it in, and it just lights up. It's kind of like a movie theater marquee. You know, it's your local theater. And I have that hooked up to a little Wemo switch. So every night at 8 o'clock within the app, the poster frame lights up. Then every morning at 6 a.m., it turns off by itself. So that's where I got that Joker movie poster frame from. I made it myself. It was like $50 for the poster frame that you can get on Amazon. And then the wood was something like, I think the wood was like, it's like a couple bucks, maybe like 10, 15 bucks for wood. Of course you need screws, you know. And then you got to buy the LED lights. That's not much. That was like 30 bucks. Because I had tried to source out an actual real life movie theater backlit marquee. But those things are like a few $100s. I was like, yo, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just make it myself. So about less than $100. About $100. You can make it yourself. So that's where I got my movie poster frame from. Starfall Studios, do you think that the Austin Power trilogy should come on 4K Blu-ray? Yes, Starfall, one of my favorite comedies ever. Austin Powers 1, 2, and 3. I love all three of those movies. I can't wait for those to come on 4K. That and Anchorman 1. It's got to be on 4K. I don't care if it has Atmos or not, but I need to have those on 4K. Who's this? Jer Vladimir just bought the Q90R soundbar for the bedroom. Thanks to you. Hey, Jer Vladimir. Congrats. I love that soundbar. You know, I'm not a big soundbar fan, but that's a legit soundbar. Sounds really good. I do like that soundbar. That one and the Sennheiser soundbar. Two of my favorites. DJ Apache, I have a full Golden Ear Triton speaker system. I wonder how they would compare to the Arendal speakers. You know what sounds really good is those Golden Ear reference speakers. I heard those references at a couple of shows, and those things rocked for music. I mean, one of the best pairs of speakers I heard at the audio show were those reference Golden Ears. I would love to get them here, but I could get them here. I'd have to transport them, but it's huge and they're super heavy. So I mean, maybe at some point in time I'll get those references in here. Oh, do I think they're better than my Arendals? I guess it would depend on what Golden Ears you would compare them to the Arendals. But the Arendals throw out such a wide, spacious sound. They just sound totally different, very detailed, very three-dimensional sounding. That waveguide does wonders to be very directional, yet very wide. And, it's not harsh. They've got a soft dome tweeter. It's very nice. I want to say maybe slightly rolled off top end, but lots of bass, especially for these bookshelves. I mean, I do have them crossed over at 80 hertz, but if I run them full range, they legit have some heavy punch for these bookshelves. They're not small bookshelves either. They're freaking big bookshelves. They weigh a lot more than some of the tower speakers that I've seen at, maybe like your Best Buy or PC Richards or something like that. They're like 1 inch thick. I think they're made out of 1 inch thick HDF. All the way around the box, and I think it's 2 inch thick for the front baffle. So they're none of this like 3/4, half-inch thick MDF that a lot of the other speaker brands use. Like legit high quality speakers. Like I said, check them out. Call them up. 60-day trial. Check them out. I wish there would be some more conversations about the Arendal speakers, but like not too many people have them unless you're in like Norway. Well, everybody that I've spoken to that have the Arendals they're from Norway because that's where they are. But I know they've been working on getting trying to get some U.S. Dealers, which I hope they can make happen because fantastic speakers. E Vega, top movies to show off HDR. Top movies, I'd really have to think about it, but obviously Aquaman I think is the best so far this year. That's really the only one that comes to mind is Aquaman for right now. That may very well be number one, top 10. Most likely it's going to be like the number one top 10 on the list this year. I don't think anything else looks quite as good. Aquaman is one of those movies that are like, for HDR, when you watch an HDR movie, sometimes it's dim. Like a lot of the times it's dim, but Aquaman doesn't really give you like a very dim presentation. It stays pretty bright just all the way through. So most of the movies I've seen, HDR makes the movie kind of very dim. And if you have a projector, it's kind of detrimental on projectors because projectors aren't the brightest things. They're not like TVs. So if a movie's kind of dim, then it looks especially extra dim on a projector. But legit Aquaman, super bright movie. TV or projector. Have you watched Classics in the Cinema released in 3D? What? Have you watched Classics in the Cinema released in 3D? And which has the best sound? I'm not sure what your question is there. VHS, DVD, Blu-ray previews, Australia? If you have specific titles, then maybe I can answer that for you. Will you venture into Oro 3D now that these new pre-pros have it included? So, yes, Wolfgang, I'm probably going to get the R-Cam. Most likely I'll have the R-Cam in here, which does have IMAX Enhanced and Oro 3D, but I don't know where I'm going to put it though, because directly in the center of both my Atmos speakers is a light, dead center. So I don't even know where I would put an Oro speaker, but I'll have to figure it out though. CJ Cummings at Tooth. Also, you sticking it in the camera? Okay. So no Frozen 2. Oh, Frozen 2. Is Frozen 1 even on 4K? I don't think so, right? I don't think so. But no, I'm not going to do Frozen 1 or Frozen 2. Lexicon THX. The Lexicon MC10 looks interesting. I haven't seen any reviews of it. They haven't made anything, though. I wanted to buy since I had a DC1. Well, Lexicon, the Lexicon MC10 is actually an Arcam AV860, which the Audio Control M5 is basically an Arcam AV860, and the Lexicon MC10 is basically an Arcam AV860 as well, with some Lexicon's Logic 7 processing and some different styling. But they're both made from Harman, and they're pretty much exactly the same. I was going to get the Lexicon before I picked up the Maestro, Audio Control Maestro. The Maestro had XLR ins if I wanted to do higher quality audio, which I don't know. I don't even care about it because I don't listen to music in here. But so the Audio Control actually had that extra input. That's why I didn't grab it over the Lexicon. But they should sound exactly the same, Arcam, Lexicon, and Maestro. So, I mean, if you got any one of those, same UI, same everything, they're all made by Arcam, which in turn is made by Harman. What's your thoughts on using one set of in-ceiling speakers as rears? I suppose if the Mr. Skeet Wang, what's your thoughts on using one set of in-ceiling speakers as rears? You could do that. Yeah, why not? You know, I mean, if you don't have the space to put on your back wall, then you can put them as rears in your back. I've got friends who have in-ceiling rear speakers. Noah Fogarty, I have Gold Member on 1080p Blu-ray, and it needs a new 4K transfer. Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's get some Austin Powers on 4K. DJ Apache, yes, I have the reference speakers in front. There you go, man. I think you're talking about the Golden Ears, right? Will you be getting Disney Plus when it launches next month? And what are you looking forward to the most? Yes, I'm going to get Disney Plus. I mean, for $70 a year, it's kind of a no-brainer. $7 a month? That's like, that's like a cheeseburger. That's like a cheeseburger every month. So $7 a month, just do it. But yeah, what do I want to see? I definitely want to see The Mandalorian, and I think that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. The Mandalorian, maybe a couple of the Marvel shows, but that's the biggest thing I want to check out. It looks legit. It looks like an awesome show. Hopefully the Rise of Skywalker doesn't suck. So we'll have to wait and see on that. CJ Cummings, how's Kaleidoscape so far? Well, the Kaleidoscapes, I do like the Kaleidoscape. It's not my Kaleidoscape. I can't keep it. I do have to give it back. And yeah, it's an awesome thing. I mean, when it all comes down to it, the Kaleidoscape is just a movie player. It is a convenient movie player. I haven't bought any movies for it because it's not mine. So it's not like everything that's on the Kaleidoscape I own. and I own it. It's on my Oppo, so I can watch it from my Oppo, from the Blu-ray rips that I have on there, the 4K rips, or I can watch it from the Kaleidoscape. That's how I did the comparisons. So I did it from the Oppo to the Kaleidoscape. Functionality wise, I mean, they do the same things. You know, I do have the hard drives on the Oppo. It does look nicer accessing them on the Kaleidoscape. If the Kaleidoscape was mine, I'd probably use that more, but it's not, so I haven't really used it at all except to do that review. So yeah, it's going to go back probably like next month. But you know, I really enjoyed the Kaleidoscape. I wouldn't drop $8,000 for one, but I get the need for it. I get the attraction to it. If I had $8,000 to kind of throw away, 100%, I would totally buy one. I mean, if you have a nice theater, most of the people that I know that have nice theaters, they have a Kaleidoscape with many terabytes of hard drives on them. So if you have a super premium movie theater, chances are you probably have a Kaleidoscape in there. When I say premium theater, I'm talking about like very, very expensive theater. Damn, with Ryan, damn, Atmos demo discs are hard to come by. I got like all the demo discs. I forgot where I got them from. I got some from some dealers. I got a few from a couple of Sony reps. They have given me some demo discs. I've got I think I've got all the Dolby demo discs in the past 2 years of DTS discs. The DTS demo discs, except for like the channel callouts, the DTS demo discs kind of suck. There's nothing really good about them. You get a couple movie clips, and you get kind of like their pre-made CGI clips, which aren't all that great. Other than the channel callouts, which I put in pretty much all my soundbar demos, that's the only thing that I find useful. Otherwise, I don't really. The DTS X demo discs kind of suck. Right at home with Lee Redwood. Hi Shane, enjoyed your ESL-X review. Set up a new 5.1 Ethos ESL-XC Dynamo 1600, 35XT rears paired with the MRX 720. Damn. Shout out to ML, Truth and Sound. Bro, I love the ESL-X's. The Electrostats, my fave speakers, my favorite type of speakers. I just love the sound they produce. But the thing is, I'm going to be getting probably in the next couple weeks. I think they're breaking them in right now, but I'm going to be getting the new Martin Logan, I think 40i's. I think the 40i, the XT35i, and I think the XT15i to do a 7-channel. The new motion series. They're going to be coming in a couple weeks. So I'm going to be doing like a 7-channel review on their speakers. So that should be cool. I think they said they wanted to break them in for a couple hours, like 100 hours or 200 hours. They're going to break them in, and then they're going to like ship them out to me. So I'm kind of excited to check those out. DJ Apache, have you ever used Room Perfect calibration software? It is Auto Room EQ from a company called I believe it's called, is it No, it's not Lidorf. I believe it's called Lingdorf, right? But I have it on my Macintosh MX160. I haven't tried Room Perfect, but I hear it's like the best room correction. Everything that I've heard, it's like the best one out there. That and Dirac, I think, are the two best ones. But from what I hear, I think Room Perfect is supposed to be better than Dirac, if I'm not mistaken, from everything that I read and everything everybody's told me. So if you have it on your Macintosh, then I would probably use it, if you know how to use it, you know. The Raft Cave. Oh, Raft Cave. Message retracted. Okay. I hope the HDR of Rise of Skywalker isn't trash like The Last Jedi. Luis Torres. I'm pretty sure the HDR in Rise of Skywalker is going to look good because it's from JJ. I think from the kind of like screen from the trailers and stuff. It looks like it's got the Last Jedi visual aesthetics to it. Rob James, I think you're in Connecticut like I am. Danbury has a nice Dolby Cinema, bass shakers in seats, all blacked out theater projector, has amazing black levels. You know, I haven't done, Rob James, I haven't been to, I think you're talking about the one by Best Buy, across from Best Buy. I haven't been to that one since they redid it. I have been to their, I think they have mini IMAX in there or something like that, right? That's the last time I've been there, but I haven't been to their new remodeled theater yet. The one thing that I really kind of wish that we had here in Connecticut, where I'm from, is the AMC. I think you're talking about the AMC in Connecticut, Danbury, with the Movie Pass. No, what is it? Stubs, AMC Stubs. That's something that we don't have here. Now that Movie Pass is dead and Cinema is gone, like going to Danbury is like an hour drive for me. So I really wish we had AMC Stubs here, because I'd be at the movies like every week. Kind of sucks we don't have that here. About the Raft Cave, I might actually go to the movie theater to see Will Smith Gemini. The theater near me will have a Dolby 3D laser projector with 120. Oh, is Gemini really 120 frames per second? I did not know that, Raf. I heard Gemini Man was is it Gemini Man or just Gemini? But I've heard Gemini was shot in 4K 3D. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong in that, but I've been told it was 4K 3D. So if that's the case, then maybe 4K 3D will be coming along in the horizon sometime soon. Especially if Jim Cameron wants to make it happen. But I do want to watch Gemini as well, because I've heard nothing but good stuff about that movie. How come my HDR looks better than Dolby Vision on my Sony 4K TV player? Miguel Benitez. How come my HDR looks better than Dolby Vision on my Sony 4K player? I'm not sure why your HDR looks... I'm assuming you mean HDR10 looks better than Dolby Vision on your 4K player? I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Miguel. Skeet Wang 199. Thanks, bro. Appreciate the 199. Spider-Man Far From Home 4K Blu-ray review. Tiger Fist. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna do Spider-Man Far From Home. I've already seen that movie far too many times. I don't think I can watch it again. To be honest with you. DJ Apache, I was just in Connecticut last weekend. My cousin bought a house in Wolcott. Nice area, very quiet and plenty of space. I just sold him my Shu VTF15 and I purchased dual SVS PB16s. Beast, I still got the PB16 back here. I'm really contemplating selling the PB16 and getting two more REL 1508s and just like stack them in the back. I've been contemplating that thought. So we'll see. We shall see. Shout out to DJ Apache for the 199. Thanks, bro. But yeah, I was thinking about, because I already have I've got the two 1508s here now, the RELs. And if I can get a buyer for my PB16, then I may very well get two more. So two 1508s up front, and then I can always stack a line array in the back there, which would just be like monstrous bass in here, especially for my tiny room. Just overkill right now. Very overkill that I have. Whatever I have going on here, it's overkill. Wolfgang 10247, get the new mono-price dual 15-inch. I saw that. I saw the mono-price dual 15-inch. But I can almost 100% guarantee that it's not going to sound better than the two REL 1508s. Almost 100%. Would you rather get an LG B9 or Q90R? LG. What would I rather get? That's a good question. I'm a fan of OLED TVs. I've got two OLEDs. I would probably just stick. I would stick with OLED because I just like the look of OLED better. But they're both great TVs though. Tiger Fist. Oh man, I'm shocked. I was really looking forward to the IMAX ratio. Tiger Fist. I think you're talking about Spider-Man: Far From Home on Fandango, right? I would do the Fandango IMAX one, but I have gotten rid of my audio control Maestro, which had IMAX enhanced, and I cannot do the IMAX enhanced version of Spider-Man because I wouldn't be able to review the audio correctly. So until I get another IMAX enhanced pre-pro, I'm not going to do any IMAX enhanced reviews. So hopefully Arcam comes out with their processor soon so I can pick that up. We'll be back in business. Gerard Narison, are you going to review the new monoprice processor? Gerard, or Gerard Narison. I'm probably not going to do the monoprice processor because they don't seem to want to respond back to emails. Or when they respond back to emails, it's like 2 months later. So I'm probably not going to do that. But to be honest with you, I think I've said it before in different streams. That's probably one of the most ugliest looking processors I've ever seen. And for me, it could be fantastic sounding, but I would still like to have an attractive looking processor in my rack. But that looks like some kid put it together. So I'm not really interested in doing it. But what can I say? I'm slightly shallow when it comes to my audio gear. I like great sound and I like great looks. Just like women, you know what I'm saying? Great sound, great looks, great personality, all that good stuff. If my gear is not good looking and good sounding, I'm just not interested. Subacabra. Hi, Shane. If you had to pick a movie to show off your system, which one would you pick and why? To show off my system? I still give my favorites. My favorites have always been Power Rangers, Quiet Place. One of my new favorites, Godzilla King of Monsters, Kong Skull Island. It's my 4 favorites right there. 3 very high action movies and one very kind of somber, atmospheric mix with A Quiet Place. Those would be my four favorite ones. Those are my 4 favorite ones that whenever I do a processor review, I kind of rotate between those 4 movies. Because like I said, action and then atmospheric. Oh, Dean 5733. Thanks, Dean. You had a question? Hit me up right now with your question. Thank you for the $2. You're reviewing the Trinov Altitude 32V. I've been in talks with Trinov for the past few weeks here. I don't know, they just kind of disappeared on me, so I don't know what they're doing. Trinov has got a headquarters here in Connecticut. We had plans to do like a tour in Connecticut at some point in time in Hartford, but then I don't know. These guys are they've kind of like disappeared on me. I was supposed to do the 16 because I couldn't do the 32. Actually, I can't even do the 16 properly because my room's not big enough for 16 speakers. I definitely can't do 32 because where am I going to put them all? But I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep bothering them to see if I can get a Trinov in here. That monoprice dual 15 is like 250 pounds. LOL. Yeah, it is 250 pounds. I know. That's a big one. Who else has got dual? Who else has got duals? I think JL Audio has got the Fathom, which has got some duals in it. Like I said, you can triple stack Rel subwoofers if you want to go a little nuts. Rel, you can do a triple stack line array. And who else has got duals? XTZ's got duals. I think they've got dual 12s or something like that. And I think like PS Audio. I think PS Audio, not PS Audio. Is it PS Audio? I think it has duals as well. But yeah, man, I'm interested to watch reviews on the monoprice dual 15s for sure. But to be honest with you, like I said, I probably won't do the monoprice subwoofer because just like my pre-pros, I like to have a good looking pre-pro in my rack. Obviously, it's got to sound good too, but I like to have the combination. And then at the same time, it's like, do I really want a monoprice subwoofer in my audio system? I'm a little shallow like that. So what do you want me to say? It's a monoprice subwoofer. JTR has dual 18s. There you go. I was thinking about JTR. Dual 18s. That thing probably sounds sick. Probably like make your eardrums bleed. Skeet Wang, I have the 85-inch 950G. Been delivered this Saturday. Just contemplating on the B&W 702s or the Kefs. Well, do I like the 702s? I think the 702s are nice. Or the Kefs. I guess it depends on which Kefs you're looking at. Are you looking at the Kef R series? The Kef R series are really nice speakers. I'm a fan of the Kef speakers. Personally, I'm a fan of Kefs. I would go with Kefs, but the B&W 702s are very nice as well. But I would probably pick Kefs though. Skeet Wang, great TV, Skeet Wang. Electro Voice has dual 18s. I've never heard Electro Voice. I'm gonna have to Google Electro Voice right now because I've never heard of them before. What's your opinion on HDR 10 plus TVs? Be honest with you, I've not seen any HDR 10 plus content because I don't have a Samsung television set. But if it's anything like Dolby Vision, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty good. But yeah, we're gonna look at the Electro Voice TV right now. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be interested in that. MSG Gibson player. Love the channel. I've learned a lot. I've learned a ton. Cheers. Thanks, MSG Gibson player. I really appreciate the donation. Thank you very much for that. And thanks. I'm glad that I could maybe educate you. I guess maybe give some knowledge or something like that. Maybe not educate you, but give some knowledge. That's what the channel's about. You know what I mean? Just talking about stuff we're all interested in. Whether or not anybody agrees with my videos or not, I guess that's a personal preference. DJ Patchy, EV is more pro audio than home theater. Yeah, I was just looking at the Electro Voice. They definitely look like they're more for the commercial stuff rather than home audio. DJ Patchy. Oh, did we lose audio? Can you decide whether to get the Kef CI 200 THX or the Martin Logan Vanquish for ceilings? XYZ. I would do the Kef CI 2000. Oh, actually no. You have. I forgot what speakers you have. XYZW. You're gonna have to refresh my mind. But XYZ. If I was going to do actually after I move out of the apartment and we get a house, I think I'm going to probably do the Kef THX in-wall speakers. Those are most likely, like 90% sure those are going to be whenever I get the new theater, whenever I get up out of this apartment. That's what's going to happen. 100%. 100% sure. DJ Reapa, Francis. What's up, Shane? It's Francis. DJ Reapa, Francis? What's up, Francis? What's up, You're making it sound like I know you, Francis. I only know one Francis. I only know one Francis, DJ Reapa. Francis, is that you? DJ Apache, have you ever reviewed or had experience with Rhythmic subwoofers? I have heard good things about the servo technology. I have not had any experience with Rhythmic. Oh, DJ Reapa. Okay, Francis, I know you. I know you from Best Buy. Yes. Have you ever reviewed or had experience with Rhythmic subwoofers? I have heard good things about their servo technology. I haven't. I've tried to reach out to Rhythmic. They don't like to answer their emails. Not everybody likes to answer their emails, but most of the people like to like to answer emails. But Rhythmic doesn't like to answer their emails. The shoe guys or the HSU guys, they don't like to answer their emails. And the JTR guys, they told me they don't like my videos or something like that. So they haven't sent me any subwoofers. So no, I haven't checked out those subwoofers at all. But I will try to reach out to them again, because they didn't directly give me a negative email. So you know what? Is it the JTR guys that told me that they didn't like my videos? I would say if you guys are gonna get a subwoofer, then don't get JTR subwoofers, because they seem like dicks. So don't get their subs. Hey man, what's the best pre-pro to go with the Emotiva A700? What's the best pre-pro to go with the A700? Usually it's like, what's the best amp to go with your pre-pro? You going a little backwards here. But you can get all kinds of pre-pros for a good deal. Actually, the Emotiva's got their XMC2 out right now. I think it's like $3,000. I would check that out. It's only $3,000. You get 16 channels for only $3,000. They're supposed to be sending me that. I think I have to do the RMC1 review. I'm probably gonna drop that either tomorrow night or Saturday. Actually, no, either tomorrow night or Sunday. I'm gonna do the RMC1 review, and then I have to get. And then they're gonna send me the XMC2. I'd like to keep. I kind of wanted to buy the RMC one because I think it's a great sounding pre-pro. But then there's things like, the Arcam is out, the synthesis is out, and they've got they got Oro 3D, IMAX Enhance on board, so you get you get those two different formats. But then at the same time, RMC one's got the expandability. So I'll be kind of bouncing back and forth between those. So I don't know, man. I do really like the RMC one. I just don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. Lexicon THX1, has the RMC1 been stable for you? I have a XMC2 coming. Yeah, well, there you go. Like I said, yes, the RMC. I just said the RMC1 is. I was thinking about buying it, like keeping it. If it was like crappy, I wouldn't contemplate it. But I'm probably gonna have the Arcam. Most likely the Arcam might be the daily once they release that, which I think is maybe November. I think they said it's gonna go on sale. So we'll see. Ty Bros, do review of your home theater room. Yeah, I've been saying I'm gonna do a review of the home theater room. I gotta do an update. The last one I did was like 2 years ago. That was probably like the 4th or 5th video I did. I think it was a little it was kind of amateurish looking because I didn't know how to use a camera back then, but I do have one coming. I have to do that. I'm gonna integrate it with the new Rendell speakers, with the new when I mounted the Atmos speakers. I gotta get that in there as well with the projector, all that stuff. You know, I got the rails in here, the new seats, and all that good stuff. And the audio rack has changed since I did the original video. But if you guys want to know what I have in the theater, obviously it's in the description right now in the video. I think it's in the description, my list of stuff there. So you can always check that out. And I did all the reviews on the channel of all the stuff that I have in my theater, like individually. The 4K King, I hope you're having a good night, Shane. I am having a good night. We just watched Joker, and now we're having some Bud Lights. We're having some iced tea Bud Lights. We're just talking about home theater. Emotiva amplifiers versus monolith amplifiers. That's a good one. I guess it depends on what models. The good thing is that the monolith amps are made by ATI, I believe. So I mean, there's kind of ATI is kind of like, you know, they make some awesome amps. But you know, if you're really interested in non-ATI amps that are made by ATI, I would still check out the Outlaw amps. Outlaw's been in the biz for quite some time, making audio gear for quite some time, and they have some great customer service. Like I know the guy personally. I've done some reviews on their amps. Check out the Outlaw stuff. Plus, like I said, I think they're much better looking than the monolith amps as well. Like I like to have good looking gear in my rack. I would prefer to have Outlaw rather than Monoprice. Plus the Outlaw amps, fully differential. So if you want the best noise reduction or noise rejection, monolith. Just do it. Just do it. Good price, killer performance. Or you can go with the Rotel amps like I have. I got some Rotel amps. I love the Rotel amps. Will Nakamichi sponsor you anytime soon? Will Nakamichi sponsor me? I don't think I have really any sponsors. See, I've always been on the fence, like, what exactly is sponsoring? Like, I've always thought that sponsoring would be like paying me to do a video. I've never had anybody pay me to do a video, so I would assume that's not really like a sponsorship. But Nakamichi had offered, I think I've discussed this many times before. Nakamichi was going to pay me to do a review, but I believe Technodad got that instead of I did. I think they offered it to me, then reneged on it, and then gave it over to Technodad. So no, they're not going to offer me a soundbar. And I'm not gonna buy their soundbar for a review. So just because Nakamichi said they were gonna offer me the soundbar to review, and then they took it away from me, I'm gonna say, if you guys want to buy a great sounding soundbar, then go ahead and buy yourself a Sennheiser, LG, or a Samsung, and don't buy the Nakamichi. That's what I would say. Listen, if you want a nice, truthful review, then let me have the soundbar. If you don't want a truthful review, give it to somebody else. Apparently, that's what they did. How do you run your speaker wire? The 4K King. How do I run my speaker wire? I run them through the walls, and then I run them under the carpet. And that's how I run them. I guess that's your question. Hey Shane, love your stuff. Tech reviews of 4K UHD discs are much appreciated. Martin Logan 741 and Anthem guy here. Bam. Martin Logan, there you go. Like I said earlier, I'm going to have the new Motion series in Redline Ronin. So be on the lookout for the new Motion series review coming soon. What else we got here? What's this? Hey Shane, what do you use for power protection? I was thinking of PS Audio Power Planner or Audio Quest Niagara. DJ Patchy. Well, hold on a second. Arrowverse producer teases possibility of Nick Cage in Superman Crisis? What? Look at this. What's this? I can't even see that. That'd be crazy. I don't watch what you call it? I don't watch the Arrow show or any of these CW shows, but I would watch the Arrowverse. I would watch the whole Crisis on Infinite Earth if Nick Cage shows up. 100%. But I don't know if you guys have seen any of the YouTube videos where Nick Cage was Superman. But that outfit was kind of ridiculous looking, especially with Nick Cage with long hair as Superman. I would have loved to see that movie. But what were we talking about here? Starscape SG1. It's beer thirsty. Yes, we're drinking buds today. The 4K King, how was the Joker? 4K King, the Joker was awesome. The Joker was really good. You can scroll back to the beginning of the video. We talked about a little bit there. Hey Shane, what was the question? Oh, there we go. Hey Shane, what do you use for power protection? I was thinking about PS Audio Power Plant or Audio Quest Niagara. DJ Patchy. Well, DJ Patchy, you got some deep pockets over there, DJ Patchy. If you're gonna do the PS Audio Power Plant or the Niagara. I'm gonna have the Furman 15i hopefully within the next few weeks. So that's gonna be my power protection. But if I can do PS Audio or Audio Quest Niagara, I don't know what kind of equipment rack you have, but I think the PS Audio plant would probably fit better within a rack. I think I was looking at the Audio Quest Niagara at one point in time, but I think it was too chrome looking for my tastes. Plus, I don't think that had integrated well within my rack. But I think either one of those would be solid choices, though. Starscape SG1, is Atmos worth the upgrade? I'm curious to know why you would ask me why Atmos is worth the upgrade. Just let me know in the comments why you would ask me why the Atmos is worth the upgrade. Like, did you see videos saying otherwise? Just let me know in the comments. Juan Martinez, I got the 2018 Q9 Samsung TV. I'm a big gamer. Thinking about getting an OLED, but afraid of burn-in. What's your opinion? You know, here's the thing. I was talking to one of the Samsung guys today, one of the Samsung reps. And I guess the word is that they're going to be doing Quantum OLED next year. So maybe I don't know what the difference is between the regular Quantum dot LED TVs and Quantum OLED. I haven't really looked into it, but apparently Samsung's going to have some Quantum OLEDs next year. So we'll see. We'll see how that's going to play out. So I don't know if they're conceding to OLED. They're just like, we're not going to do LED anymore. We're going to do OLEDs. So I'm a little curious to see what 2020 brings for Samsung. Will Samsung adopt Dolby Vision? I don't know. We'll see. Redline Ronin, Atmos is worth the upgrade. Height channels are a plus, but even if not, object-based audio is still a solid upgrade. Yes, I agree. Redline Ronin, I agree. My man Starling Torbio is here. I would like you to come visit me and check out my HT. Just upgrade to 8 18s subs and 16,000 watts of speaker power. Interesting, Starling Torbio. Did you just say you have 8 18-inch subwoofers? Where do you live, Starling? Maybe we can do a little home theater tour or something like that. You know, it seems like that's the thing now. Like, everybody's doing these home theater subscriber tours or subscriber audio tours. I've been neglecting doing that because everybody else seems to be doing it. But I mean, having 818 seems pretty enticing. Yo, when you going to be in New York? I'm only like, well, Starling, we're only like a half hour. We're only like actually 45 minutes from New York, so you let me know. What else we got here? Hi, if you have a pair of biamp speakers but only want to connect speaker wire to one pair of input terminals, doesn't matter which terminals I use. No, it doesn't. You could just use the jumper and just connect it up because it's all one. It just turns it all into one. XYZW, they're theater swingers. They are theater swingers. The thing is, like, everybody loves watching these home theater tours. Like, even if it's not their theater, everybody loves watching it. Yes, he has 18. I'm sorry, he has 18-inch subs in the Bronx. Oh, interesting. Yeah, man. Just, hit me up on the hit me up on the hit me up on the Twitter or something like that. Can you make a video on how to rip 3D and 4K discs to media server? Salt Vids. Can I make a video on that? You know, I'd contemplated doing a video about ripping movies in 4Ks, but then I was thinking about maybe that would be kind of like a piracy thing or not, so I wasn't really sure. So that's why we opted not to do that. What else we got here? What's your current pick for best value pair of front speakers? I guess Redline Ronin. What's your current best pick for value speakers? I guess it would really depend on what your budget is for best value. Best value means different to many people. It's kind of like my Kaleidoscape video. When it's like $8,000 might be a lot to one person, but it might not be much to somebody else. Starscape SPG1. It seems like in most of your reviews that the sound in the high channels is minimal. In most, not all, but most cases. Since Atmos tracks on Blu-rays drop to 7.1, which sounds great. Is it worth trying to redo your theater room to add heights? Well, I guess your question is it worth it to do Atmos? Well, there's usually always something in the height channels. You can think of it as like you're always going to have like 7.1 in the lower channels. There's always going to be something in the lower channels. Whether or not the height channels is aggressive or not, where you're really hearing some very directional cues and on-screen like effects that correlate on screen or not precisely. I always take that into consideration. Like if it's raining or something like that, does it sound like rain's coming from above me, or if something's flying over my head? Do I hear that? If there's a dragon or something flying above my head that I'm looking at on screen, like do I hear that? Does it match what I'm seeing visually? So I always kind of take that into consideration. But I mean, so it really depends on the mix. So if I don't get like the same visual impact that I do orally, then I'll mention it. But there's usually always some kind of ambiance or something like that you're not going to get with 7.1. But you're always going to get kind of like the lower layer is always going to be there. But you know, for those times where Atmos really does kick in, like Godzilla, where there was like a ton of stuff, then yeah, movies like that, 100% worth it. It's always good to have it, and then not have it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to miss out on something just because somebody told you it's not worth it. Because there's gonna be those gem of a movies that are just gonna come out like Godzilla, where you might not think it's gonna be so great because maybe the movie's kind of shitty, but then it has like a kick-ass track on it, and everybody's just like talking about it. You're gonna be like, oh man, I just got 7.1. It sounds great in 7.1, but you know what? It sounds even better in Atmos. So if you have the space to do some Atmos speakers, 100%. Do the upgrade. Oh man, everybody asking me if I saw the Joker. Yes, if you scroll all the way back to the beginning, I am Pedro. Scroll all the way back to the beginning. We talked about Joker briefly. Me and Brass might do a spoiler review maybe this weekend. Unless you guys want me to spoil it right now, you can just tell me. I'll just spoil it right now. We'll just talk about the whole thing. But I don't think most of you guys had seen it, so I didn't want to spoil it. Devin Lott, when should we expect your Spider-Man Far From Home and The Shining Ultra HD reviews? Probably not. I'm probably not gonna do Spider-Man or The Shining. I got like way too many videos I gotta do. Plus, I've seen Spider-Man way too many times already. If I'm gonna do a Spider-Man review, it might be the 3D one. I got it here. I just haven't watched it yet. What else we got? GSW, what do you think about the Polk Legend? Everybody craves for it, but it's kind of it's kind of monoprice to me. I don't want that. You know, JSW. Gene over in AudioQuest wanted me to do he wanted me to do those speakers, the Legend speakers. I forgot what the model number is. Apparently, everybody seems to like them, but I didn't want to do them. I wasn't interested in it. Unless Polk was gonna send me a whole 7.1 setup, then I wasn't gonna do it. Like I just wasn't really interested in just doing the 2-channel review. I only like to do 2-channel speaker reviews if it really interests me. If it doesn't interest me, then I'm just not gonna do it, unless they're gonna give me like a whole home theater setup. But I mean, they look nice, but they don't tickle my fancy. Rajiv Gidwani, is there a way to play the M2 TS 4K movie file encoded in Dolby Vision USB port of the 4K player? I'm getting HDR. Well, Rajiv, pretty well. You definitely can use the Oppo 2 or 3 to play Dolby Vision. For me, I have folders on hard drives from the rips. Not just I use the folders, and the Oppo can play it. So I don't know what player you're using, but I do know the Oppo can play. I know the Oppo can play M2 TS rips, and it can also play folders. I haven't tried 4K ISOs though, so I'm not sure about that. Ryan Kozlowski, I have the Martin Logan SLM XL fronts, ML4i rears, and ML Dynamo in 5.1. Thinking about Martin Logan AFX for 512, but also thinking of just switching to Ambio with sub instead. Ryan, why would you get rid of all those awesome speakers for an Ambio soundbar? Probably the dumbest thing I've heard tonight. Don't do that. But if you want to put the Ambio in your bedroom, then yeah, do that. But don't get rid of your system for a soundbar. That's ridiculous. Master Jedi, hi. When Scarface gets released on 4K, will you be reviewing it soon? If Scarface is in Atmos, then I'll probably do it. But if it's not in Atmos, I'm not gonna do it. Hi, do you believe in Dolby upfiring speakers, or is it a myth? Do I believe in Dolby upfiring speakers, or is it a myth? The only thing that is a myth is dry land. Only dry land is a myth. What movie is that from? Who knows what movie that's from? But do I believe in them? They work on the sound bars, so I mean, they do work. They just don't, they don't sound like real speakers though. Remember, you're bouncing sound from upfiring speakers in a certain frequency range. I don't know what it is, but you can't get you can't cross them over at like 80 hertz and get some nice mid-range from them. You're not bouncing mid-range off your ceiling back at your ears. You're bouncing only high frequencies off the ceiling to your ears. So if you want a little bit more impact for whatever's going on up there, or if maybe like a helicopter's kind of rumbling up above your head, you're not going to get that from a sound bar. You're only going to get that from actual speakers. So, Waterworld, Dr. Drunken, or Dr. Unken. But yeah, bouncy speakers, they do work. 100% they do work. I've heard it many times. But do real speakers if you can do it. Look at that. Look at all these movie fans, man. Everybody saying Waterworld. I love it. Waterworld's one of my favorite movies ever. I don't know why people hate Waterworld, but I love Waterworld. Waterworld is one of those movies. There's like Waterworld, Fight Club, Casino, Goodfellas. What else? Austin Powers. Those are the five that I can really think that really pop in my head. Any one of those five movies, if it's on TV, I can just sit there and catch it in the middle, towards the end, wherever it lands, wherever I catch it at. I can always just sit there and watch it from that point on and just sit all the way through and just watch it. That's Waterworld's one of those movies that I just always find interesting. That just always keeps my attention all the time. And usually I find something new that I haven't noticed before, or maybe there's a line that I haven't heard that I haven't heard before. But Waterworld is just one of those movies. It's right up there. Casino, Goodfellas, Austin Powers. Austin Powers is ridiculous. I love Austin Powers. Anchorman too. Anchorman is one of them too. I love it. Hi, will you be reviewing the IMAX enhanced versions of Spider-Man? Oh, everybody's asking about the Spider-Man, man. Probably not. Probably not. Maybe if I get an IMAX enhanced pre-pro, then I'll go back and do Spider-Man. But right now, probably not. Rajiv, will we ever get Dolby Vision in projectors? I don't think so. I've asked that question many times to a lot of projector people. No, I don't think so. Not anytime soon. Waterworld theatrical or director's cut? I can go either way with Waterworld. I like any cut of Waterworld. Michael Hobbs, what is Gene talking about when he mentions room transition frequencies? And how do I find my room's transition frequency? Well, Mike Hobbs, Gene is a lot smarter than me. So you might have to ask Gene that question. Because I don't know. I'm assuming that he means maybe where your room transitions from your main speakers to your subs. I'm not sure. I'm thinking that might be what he means, but not 100% sure. I don't want to give a definite answer for that. How's the beer? The beer is great. I don't even know if this qualifies as beer because it's like lemonade. Dr. Unkin, I never actually seen Waterworld. Almost bought the 4K last week. Do you know why the UK has no Pixar 4K releases? I don't know why Pixar doesn't have Mr. Unkin. Mr. Unkin, I don't know why Pixar or Europe doesn't have 4K releases. And you should probably get Waterworld. I love Waterworld. Pick up Waterworld. What is it, like $20 now or something like that? I think you'll like Waterworld. I think it's a very underrated movie. Thanks, man. Also asked Paul at PS Audio, waiting to hear back. Thanks for taking a swing at it. Mike Hobbs. What was your question, Mike Hobbs? Skeet Wang. What HDMI cables are you using? Skeet, I got a bunch of AudioQuest stuff. I've got AudioQuest Chocolate for my Blu-ray players. I think I got Chocolate from both Blu-ray players and the Apple TV, and I got a couple I think I got a Cinnamon going from my HTPC over to the Pre-Pro. And then I think I have another cinnamon going from the Kaleidoscape to the Pre-Pro. So I've got chocolate and cinnamon. That's what I've got in my rack. What's your favorite screen for a dedicated movie room? Eddie Garcia, favorite screen for a dedicated movie room. I use the Stewart screen, the Stewart film screen. If you guys haven't seen the video, I did a review on the Stewart film screen. If you guys are projector users, Stewart's been like they've been the like the de facto standard for like, mixing studios and all that stuff. So they've been in the business forever. Academy Awards for their screens, so they're legit. No, they're not cheap, but that's what I have. Although before I got that, I was using a silver ticket for a while because those were very affordable. They're only like a couple $100. If you can't spend a couple thousand on a screen, then the silver tickets are good screens too. Also, the Elite screens are very good budget screens. They're only like $400 or $500. Really depends on what size you want. But usually, if I recommend a screen, I'll say always get a white screen. If it's in a dedicated theater room, something with like a 1.0 gain or a 1.1 gain is like your best bet for like the best color accuracy. For the best, whites, blacks. But if you're in a living room or something like that, then you might want to get like a ambient light rejecting screen. Thinking of getting a new system in between SVS Prime or ELAC debut 62s. What do you think I should get? Miguel Silva, SVS or the ELACs? Man, that's a tough one there. I have heard both of them. I would probably do the SVS. I like the way the SVSs sound. I would probably do the SVSs. I know I haven't reviewed the SVSs, but I do like the sound of them though. XYZ, what fabric? What fabric for screen? I don't know what I'm assuming you're talking about screen material. I guess that would depend on if you're putting speakers behind the screen or not. But whatever fabric they're using for their white screen, I think it's some kind of a vinyl or something like that. Kilton Marquez, could you tell us your top 5 3D Blu-ray experiences? Kilton Marquez, I can't tell you my top 5 3D Blu-ray experiences because I have to think about it too much. Plus, that would take away from me doing a video. So I can't do that. What do you want to see in future projectors as far as high-end ones? I'm telling you, the only thing that I want to see in projectors right now is affordable laser projectors. Laser projectors are where it's at. I'm telling you, the Optima UHZ65 that I just reviewed, man, that thing, the Optima is so good looking. Like, it's so bright. It's crazy bright. I wish you guys, I wish a lot of guys that are here that only have TV sets, OLEDs and Samsung TVs, could see a projector, a laser projector in the flesh, because pretty sure you guys would just like not even be interested in your TVs anymore. Just imagine your TV just as bright as your TV is, just much bigger, like 6 times bigger than what it is. That's what it's like. So I see the future in projectors being laser, whether it's ultra short throw or just laser in general. That's where I think projectors are going to be going. Dave McKay, hi Shane, I have a 12 by 25 foot room and presently have 2 SVS PB4000s, but I'm thinking of getting 2 more. Too much. What do you think? Well, you've got a 12 by 25 foot room with 2 PB4000s. I've got like a 12 by 13 room with 2 15-inch Rel 1508s and a PB16. So your room was almost twice the size of mine. So I think you could probably get away with those another set of PB4000s. I don't think it's too much at all. I mean, we got a guy in here with 18-inch subwoofers, so 4PB4000 should be doable. Michael Hobbs, where can we get the best deals on Blu-ray discs? Are there clubs? Where do you buy yours? Mike Hobbs, just like everybody else, I get, well, not everybody else, but I get my discs from either they send me discs to get to do the reviews on. That's why sometimes I'll get them early. And then, of course, just like everybody else, Best Buy or Amazon. Just like everybody else. Not special. Roman numerals. Numerals. What happened to dynamically challenged? Well, nothing happened to dynamically challenged. What happened was, I'm assuming you're asking me because you're a Brass Tax subscriber. When Brass Tax decides to disappear for a few weeks, he just disappears and forgets what to do. He just doesn't want to work, and then we don't do anything. But to be fair, though, I think he said he had a death in the family, so that's why Dynamically Challenged hasn't been on the air for about 2 weeks. Although I'm thinking, I know me and Brass do that podcast, but I've been thinking about doing a podcast too, instead of just doing the live chats, because sometimes I don't want to sit in front of the camera and just talk and drink beers and chit chat. So sometimes it would seem to be easier to do my own podcast, but I'm not sure if anybody would want to listen to that. So I asked you guys if you guys are interested in a podcast, and then obviously I would have you guys like send in some questions, and I could just talk about it. Maybe have some guests on there as well, some home theater guests, 4K guests, maybe some of your favorite 4K reviewers. You know, I can contact them, get some podcast audio goodness going on. But let me know if you guys are interested in that. Roman numerals, I'm a subscriber of yours too. Don't get twisted. Roman numerals, I'm assuming that you're a subscriber of mine because you're here chatting with me. DJ Apache, I have a Sony XBR 85950. It has 4K, but no HDR worth upgrading. Wait to HDMI 2.1 is in TVs. DJ Apache, 950B. That's a few years old, huh? Still a big TV. Yeah, I would do it. Get like the 950. What is it? The 950F is out right now. I think the 85-inch 950F is. I'm not sure the prices on it, but I would do HDR. I mean, the 950S has Dolby Vision, HDR. It's got hands-free Google integration. It's got the new X1 Ultimate in it, I think, so it's pretty quick. 100%, man. I would do it. For sure. I mean, waiting for HDMI 2.1. I don't think HDMI 2.1 is really, unless you're like a gamer or if you're holding out for like 8K or something like that. I don't think HDMI 2.1 is like a necessity right now. So I mean, I would just go ahead and upgrade your 950B. I think there's some good sales right now because we're coming into we're in the fourth quarter now. So TV prices are pretty low right now because the new models are going to come out like February, I think. February, March. I think more like February. So I mean, there's some good deals to be had right now for TVs if you want to upgrade. DJ Apache. Mike Hobbs, can you tell us how you arrived at the name of your channel? Oh, Mike Hobbs, how did we come up with Sparechange? Well, Mike Hobbs, we came up with the name Sparechange because I think it was a couple of us were hanging out one day and we were talking about, we were all drinking, of course. We were all drinking a beer that tastes very much like this. That was also made by Budweiser. It's called Ocultos. Does anybody remember Budweiser Ocultos? Had a picture of a skull on it, and it actually tastes very much like this. Now that you had asked that question, it does taste like this. Anyways, they discontinued that beer. It was like a limited time only. But we were drinking that. It was winter of 2016, I believe. And we were thinking of what we could talk about on YouTube. Because we were big audio fans, home theater fans. And actually, I think Elias was here. We were trying to talk him into talking about cameras because he likes to talk about cameras constantly. When he hangs out with us and drinks beer, he's always talking about cameras. So we're like, listen, dude, why don't you do a YouTube video and talk about cameras? People love camera gear reviews. You can make a bunch of money probably. So it turned into that, and then we started talking about home theater. Then we were like coming up with names that could encompass doing cameras and home theater stuff and just tech in general. And of course, I thought about Sparechange because Sparechange could be anything from tech stuff to talking about food, which we tried and failed because nobody cared about food. And then so Sparechange could be anything. It could be home theater stuff. It could be movies. It could be cell phones. It could be light bulbs, remote controls, whatever. So that's where Sparechange came from. Plus, it always sounds good if you say it in a video, like if you don't have this, or if you have the spare change to afford whatever we're talking about, pick it up. If you don't have the spare change for it, save your extra spare change and then you can buy it. Or if you don't have the spare change, then don't pick it up. So spare change, that's where spare change came from. So spare change was meant to mean to cover a large basis of things, not just home theater. Because if you're talking about home theater stuff, typically you got to have a lot of spare change to buy home theater stuff because it's kind of a luxury thing. People don't really need home theater stuff. So if you have spare change, it's for entertainment stuff. That's how we came up with it. What else we got here? Can you tell us? Yeah, we just read that one. Would definitely sub to your podcast. Oh, thanks, Mike Hobbs. Is it possible that Avatar 2 brings back the 3D TVs plus Blu-rays? Kilton Marquez. I hope so. I hope we get some 4K 3D Blu-rays in the future. I'm hoping like maybe the next like 3-4 years we'll see some 3D 4Ks. Because with HDMI 2.1 spec coming out that can support 8K, I'm pretty sure that 4K 3D would be possible, if not already. Is the Sony 850G any good? 850G, or what do we? Sony 850G. Are we on G's right now or F's? Oh, we're on the G's right now. Sorry. Yeah, we're on the G's right now. I thought we were on the F's for some reason. Yeah, 850G. Actually, no, 850G is kind of a mid-range one. Me personally, I wouldn't buy an 850G. I would buy the 950. It's a higher-end TV. Brighter TV, better contrast, better black levels for sure. The 950G just looks better than the 850G. Oh, I didn't read your response, Rajiv. You're planning to get the 85-inch 850G. I wouldn't get the 850G. I've seen it many, 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 many times. I would get the 950G. Um, 850G is okay. Will World. Oh, Will World's here. Hey, I liked your food review. Will World, I liked your food reviews. We stopped doing the food reviews because they just weren't pushing our videos much. Plus, it took a little time. We had like three or four cameras going at the same time, and it just took a lot of work to edit those videos. Plus, I had to do spare change, and then I had to do the 999 stuff. So it started to become a lot of work. How long have you been living in your apartment? I've been here for a few years. 4K King, been in the apartment for a few years. I just contacted my local iMac screen and they won't be playing Gemini Man because their projectors can't handle 120 frames per second. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think we have only got one local IMAX here. It's not a very good IMAX either. I think it's like in Milford, Connecticut. It's not even like a legit IMAX theater, so I have to check that out. I definitely want to see that. 120 frames per second. That's gonna be crazy. I remember seeing a Hobbit in 48 frames per second. And that was like turning on smooth motion on your TV. It was smooth motion on your TV in 3D. It was like eerily weird looking. So I'm very interested to see what 120 frames per second looks like. And if that's in 3D too, that's gonna be like extra super soap opera looking. That's gonna be crazy. Michael Hobbs, Marantz Anthem is better than Marantz. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Anthem is better than Marantz. I'm not a fan of Marantz. Sorry, Marantz guys. If you guys have Marantz, I'm not a fan of the Marantz. Since you constantly test new gear in that room, curious to know what is your actual gear in that room that is permanent. Uh, right now I don't even have a permanent pre-pro. I sold my permanent pre-pro, and the only permanent thing I have are my amps, which is the Rotel 1590, and then I have a Rotel 15 15. I forgot the number of it. 1585? Or no, I have the 1590, the 1595, and then my Atmos speakers is a 1075, I think. But I think I'm going to get rid of that for another 1095 for the Atmos. So the amps are the only thing that's permanent. And then the Oppo 203, and then the UB9000 4K players, and then the Panasonic 5300, and then my PC and Apple TV. So the only thing that gets switched out is always the processor. That was for John Lira. Starscape, are you a fan of Klipsch speakers? Starscape SG1, am I a fan of Klipsch speakers? No, not a fan of Klipsch speakers. Sorry. Not a fan of the Klipsch. What does your 2K DI in your Blu-ray reviews mean? 2K digital interface? So 2K DI means the digital intermediate, which means it's kind of like the master file is the intermediate, and then so if you're shooting a movie in 2K, like in a regular 1080p camera, that's like 2K, well, slightly below 2K, but so if you're shooting a movie in, like, say 1080p, then you finish it in 1080p, and then you upscale it to 4K, the original file is 2K and not 4K. So that's what 2K DI means, basically. Mike Hobbs, Klipsch is the new Bose. What? I didn't say that. Mike Hobbs, there's a lot of people that like Klipsch speakers. I wouldn't go calling them Bose speakers. But if you're a YouTuber and you talk about if you're talking about home theater gear or stereo gear just in general, if you want to get a lot of views in your videos, if you put Bose and Klipsch in your title, or if you just talk about Bose and Klipsch, you're gonna get a lot of views because there's so many people that love Bose and love Klipsch. Those are like the two, those are like the two brands that just people love. Bose Klipsch, and SVS are kind of like the three brands that people love to hear about. And to kind of like a I'm gonna lump in Monoprice now. Monoprice is kind of starting to fall into that category of Bose Clips, SVS, because they're affordable brands, and people love them. People love affordable stuff, obviously. So, but I didn't say, Mike Hobbs, you said Klipsch is Bose. I didn't say that though. I just said I wasn't a fan of Klipsch. Dr. Unkin, with hardly any 4K TV supporting 3D, do you think it'll ever make a comeback? No, I don't think 3D is coming back anytime soon. I don't think so. I think if you want 3D right now, you're gonna have to get a projector. Hey Shane, I recently discovered your channel, and after watching all your soundbar reviews, I decided to buy the Samsung Q90R. Thanks for the review. These sound absolutely amazing. Thanks, Divine. Divine, are you a? That's an interesting avatar, Divine. Is that a picture of you? I'm just curious. If that's you, then welcome to the channel. Question: Marantz AV7705 or 8805. Will I see a big difference in sound quality? Lucian is wondering if he should get a 7705 or an 8805. Well, if you're thinking about getting the Marantz 77 or 8805, I would just say go ahead and get yourself an Emotiva RMC1 instead, or get yourself an Integra DRC R1 instead, or you can get yourself a what else? Well, these would be my two picks. Pick up the Emotiva or the Integra. It'll sound better than your 8805. Sorry, Marantz guys. I didn't mean to say it. But those are my picks, though. Will World, Klipsch is the new Bose. LOL, that's a classic line right there. I didn't say it, Will World. Mike Hobbs said it. Jose Bellini, any hints from Denon or Yamaha to compete in the 16-channel space? CES 2020 is coming. What is Denon? Does Denon not have a 16-channel receiver? I thought the 8500 was 16-channel. I'm pretty sure I did that review. I don't recall if it was 16 channels or not. John Lira saw your shoot video. In the past, they had a Pioneer Kuro as a reference point, but they have stopped using it. Your input should have they been using instead of the small Sony OLED. Were they using the Kuro? I think they were using it back in the day, but they're using the Sony now because that's the mastering monitor for all the 4K content. So that's why they've been using the Sony. As far as I know, they don't master any movies on the Pioneer anymore, or just not in general, or ever in general. The 4K King. When you bought your SBS PB16 to your home theater, how many of you did it take to carry it? Should I get it? Is there anything that I can't handle? So it took me and a buddy to bring it up the stairs, and I remember pulling it from the handle. Like, I'm not that strong of a guy, but the handle broke while we were coming up the stairs, and I was on the top part, and it kind of like ripped, and I thought it was going to kill him because it started falling down the stairs. So yeah, have a couple strong dudes to pick up the PB16 because the subwoofer is heavy as hell. Mike Hobbs, the RMC1 seems super buggy, and for that money, I would just be so pissed. Well, Mike Hobbs, I'm assuming you saw the one video where the RMC was buggy, which I think was his particular model. But when you see my video, it'll be a totally different video. So I'm kind of glad that he put that video out because I can show 100% totally different perspective on it. So be looking out for that either tomorrow night or Sunday. Hey mate, I just bought a Q90R 512 soundbar and want to know if you think it should be okay to have the bar and sub set up and connect speakers. What's the maintenance I need? Who's that guy? DefCat123. Hey mate. Speakers. What's the maintenance Oh, well, DefCat123, once you set everything up, everything's pretty much set up. There's not much to do when you set up a soundbar. Except maybe just adjust your levels, but other than that, there's nothing really else to adjust. Hey Sheen, what are your thoughts on the new Joker film? Oh, another Joker question. What's his name? No One Seller. Well, No One Seller. If you scroll all the way back to the beginning of the video, we talk about the Joker briefly. I like the movie. It's a very good movie. My regular cinema will be playing the Gemini Man in 3D, hoping they do 120 frames per second. Same. I'm gonna be check. I doubt my cinema's gonna be doing 120, but hopefully we'll see. Onkyo, Integra, Pioneer are, in my opinion, really good. Why people YouTube Red ditch them? You know, I was wondering that too. I've had the Integra for a good. I was using Integra for a good 2 years. Before I started YouTube, the Integra was my everyday. It was my daily driver until I sold it sometime last year. And then I kind of miss it. I just did everything really good. I mean, it was really very detailed. Had a nice detailed sound to it. Very kind of slightly forward sound to it. Whereas the Marantz was more of a relaxed sound. It was not as poignant sounding for surround effects as the Integra was. The surround effects were a little bit more reserved and laid back sounding, which I didn't like. That's why. And I've owned a bunch of Marantz stuff too, and they've always sounded the same. I still have a Marantz receiver, and just for surround duties, just doesn't do it for me. I think it's one of those things where it's like people will just buy the Marantz receiver and it'll sound great until you get something else that sounds different, and then you'll notice. Then you'll start noticing, different sound qualities between different receivers and pre-pros. But not too many people. Not too many people are going to have a lot of receivers and preamps and stuff like that in their house to really compare and contrast. What else we got here? Deshaun Young, does UHD Blu-ray support 120 and 48 frames per second for movies like Gemini Man and The Hobbit? If not, do you think it will ever be added to the spec? I believe 4K only supports, or I'm sorry, I think the spec right now is 4K at 60 frames per second, but I think 8K will do 8K. Well, obviously, I'm pretty sure it'll do 4K 120, but I think the spec right now for 2.0 is 4K at 60, which I believe the only movie that does that is Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. I think that's the only movie that we have that does that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure somebody knows more than I would. Elvin Paulino, my dealer is recommending me to get the Acurus Muse 16-channel preamp. Have you heard anything good of it? Well, Elvin, I know I've reached out to Acurus, and Gene from Audioholics has reached out to Acurus, and they don't want to send it to us. Apparently it's not as user friendly as I guess you might think, or there might be some issues with it or something like that. That's what I've heard. So I guess it's not as polished as more of the other brands out there. I guess it takes a little bit more work to get it configured. At least that's what I've been told. That's why they wouldn't send us any review samples. But it does look like a nice unit, though. I will admit, it does look nice. John Lira, in the shootout, one of the speakers stated that Blu-rays and 4Ks are coming. Where was that? Oh, I'm sorry. In the shootout, one of the speakers stated that Blu-rays and 4Ks are coming to an end. Your opinion? Do you collect physical media? Do I think physical media is going to come to an end? I don't think physical media is going to come to an end. I mean, we still have vinyl. Vinyl has made a comeback, so I really doubt that DVDs and Blu-rays are going to come to an end. If anything, they might come in a different form. Maybe they'll come in like USB sticks or something like that, that can hold more data than an optical disc drive. I can see something like that happening. Like maybe you'll get a case instead of a CD or a Blu-ray. Maybe it'll just come on like a USB, like a little thumb drive or something like that. I can see something like that happening where, because storage, I think you can only store so much on a physical media, on a physical disc. Whereas, I mean, you're getting like 512 gigabyte thumb drives. You're getting like 1 terabyte drives, I think now, on like SD cards. Maybe it'll come on an SD card. I can see something like that happening, but I don't think like physical media is going to go anywhere anytime soon. Like, I wouldn't mind going to the store and buying an SD card with like an 8K movie on it. I think that would be actually kind of cool. It'd be very space savings. You can have like little cases on your rack rather than having big cases. You can have like a big booklet. It's like a big. Remember with those CD booklets with like you keep all your movies in a big CD booklet. Something you have like little SD cards with all your 8K movies on or 4K movies. I can see something like that happening in the future. You save a lot of space. Storage is getting cheaper nowadays, so I can see something like that happening. But I don't think physical media is going to go anywhere anytime soon. Do you have insider info on when Anthem will release a successor to the AVM60? Jeffrey DeMonche wants to know if I have Yes, Jeffrey DeMonche, I do have insider info on the Anthem AVM60. I have been told that it's going. Well, I can't tell you when it's going to come out. It's called insider info. I can't give you the insider info. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be something coming out. Carlos Munoz, I have a high ceiling. Do you recommend a soundbar? Do I recommend a soundbar with a high? I recommend a soundbar if you're not going to do Atmos with a high ceiling. If you're just going to do a stereo soundbar, sure, then do it. But if you're going to do Atmos bounce, then no, don't do don't get a soundbar. Man, how long have we been chatting for? Let's see. But yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this up soon. I feel like I've been talking forever. What have you heard or do you think of the Nakamichi 924 soundbar system? I haven't heard it, but I would say, I think we spoke about this earlier. What else we got here? SD card, brilliant idea. Bam, there you go. Do it. DTS:X or Atmos? I don't have a preference on DTS:X or Atmos. I think they're kind of the same thing. It's just that just that Dolby Atmos got a bigger head start. So that's why we're seeing a lot more Atmos rather than DTS:X. And there's nothing really to compare side by side because there's no movies that have both on the same disc. So nothing really to compare, you know what I mean? But they essentially do the exact same thing. So when I hear people that are like DTS:X sounds better than Atmos, like how would you know unless you have the same exact source playing the same exact thing? Like you really don't know. But all right, man, it's been oh my God, it's been 2 hours and 5 minutes we've been chatting for. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, but yeah. So we're gonna call it a quit here. We're gonna call it an end here. Thanks for sticking around for 2 hours. If you guys have been sticking around for 2 hours, thanks for that. Thanks for all the questions. Some really good questions here. Thanks for everybody who donated to the super chat. Appreciate that as well. Go see Joker. Very good movie. Not a lot of action, so don't think it's an action movie. It's not a comic book action movie. Great movie. But thanks for watching. Come back for the